Have you ever paused to consider how pain, that unwelcome companion we all try to avoid, might actually be the doorway to our greatest strength? It's a curious thought, isn't it? Pain often feels like a heavy burden, something to push away or numb so we can just get through the day. But what if, instead of running from it, we allowed ourselves to lean in, to see it not as a wall but as a threshold inviting us toward transformation? This journey begins with a simple but profound shift in perspective, recognizing that pain, in all its rawness and discomfort, holds the seeds of power within it. When we embrace our pain, we step into a space where transformation begins, not as a distant hope but as a living, breathing possibility right here in the present. Imagine pain not as a thief stealing your joy but as a forge where your inner strength is crafted, each flame and spark shaping the steel of your resilience. This is the truth we often overlook: pain is not just an end, but a beginning, a call to awaken the power that already resides within you. It is here, in this very moment of vulnerability and truth, that you hold the key to your transformation. It's not about denying the hurt or pretending it doesn't exist, but about meeting it with courage and curiosity, allowing it to teach you, to challenge you, and ultimately, to empower you. When we shift from seeing pain as something purely negative to understanding it as a catalyst for growth, we unlock a profound inner resource. This resource is not something external that we must seek, but a wellspring within ourselves, waiting to be tapped. It's the courage to face what's difficult, the wisdom gained from enduring hardship, and the compassion we cultivate for ourselves along the way. Embracing your pain means giving yourself permission to fully experience it without shame or judgment, recognizing that this experience is part of your unique story, a story that is still unfolding, rich with possibility and strength. Think for a moment about the times in your life when pain felt overwhelming, when it threatened to define you or break you. Those moments are often the ones we try hardest to erase or forget, yet they are also the moments that shape us most profoundly. The pain you felt is not a sign of weakness but a testament to your humanity, a signal that you are alive, sensitive, and capable of deep feeling. It is precisely because you feel so deeply that you have the capacity to transform that pain into power. This transformation is not instantaneous or easy, it requires patience and gentle persistence. But it is always possible, and it begins with a willingness to see pain differently. When we acknowledge pain fully, instead of pushing it aside or pretending it's not there, we create space for healing and growth. Avoiding pain may offer temporary relief, but it often leads to stagnation, preventing us from moving forward or discovering our true strength. The real power lies in acceptance, not passive resignation, but an active choice to face what is, to honor the reality of your experience, and to allow it to guide you towards something greater. This acceptance opens the door to transformation because it stops the cycle of resistance that drains our energy and keeps us feeling helpless. When we stop fighting against our pain, we free up the energy to channel into building our resilience, deepening our self-awareness, and nurturing our capacity for joy despite life's challenges. It's in this space of acceptance that transformation begins. You hold the key to this shift within yourself, no one else can grant it or take it away. It's a deeply personal journey, one that invites you to become both the witness and the alchemist of your own experience. As you begin to see your pain as a source of insight and strength, you start to rewrite the narrative you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. This new story is not about being a victim of circumstances but about being a survivor and a creator, someone who uses every experience, even the painful ones, as fuel for growth and empowerment. It's important to remember that this process is not about denying the reality of your suffering or minimizing it. True transformation embraces the full spectrum of your experience, honoring the depth of your pain while also trusting in your capacity to rise beyond it. The power that emerges from this process is authentic and enduring because it is born from facing the truth rather than escaping it. When we embrace our pain in this way, we begin to cultivate a new relationship with ourselves, one rooted in compassion, courage, and hope. We learn to see ourselves not as broken but as beautifully imperfect beings capable of incredible resilience. This shift changes everything because it rewires how we respond to challenges, turning obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. The inner power you discover through this process is not flashy or loud, it is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted in your authentic self. It's the kind of power that carries you through difficult times with grace and determination, reminding you that no matter how hard life gets, you have what it takes to keep moving forward. So, as you continue on this path, remember that embracing your pain is the first courageous step toward transformation. It is the moment when you stop running and start standing tall in your truth. It is the moment when you claim your power to heal, to grow, and to become who you are truly meant to be. Transformation begins here, within you, in the space where pain and power meet. You hold the key. And with this key, the door to your greatest strength is waiting to be opened. Pain has a way of sweeping over us like a sudden storm, leaving us feeling exposed, vulnerable, and powerless. It can flood our minds with doubt and fear, whispering that we are weak or broken, that we are somehow less because of what we endure. This feeling of helplessness can be so overwhelming that it feels like the pain is bigger than us, like it's a force we can't control or escape. But here's the thing we often forget: pain, as intense and disorienting as it can be, does not have to define our story or dictate our future. The first step toward transforming pain into power lies in recognizing its impact on us, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. When pain arrives, it commands our attention, demanding that we take notice. It's natural to want to push it away, to avoid looking too closely at the parts of ourselves that hurt most. Yet, in that avoidance, we risk becoming trapped in a cycle of denial that keeps us stuck. Imagine pain as a message, not a punishment. It is telling us something important about our experience, about our needs, and sometimes about the changes we must make to move forward. But to hear this message, we have to stop running and allow ourselves to fully feel what's there, no matter how uncomfortable or frightening it may seem. Acknowledging pain means giving it a place in our awareness without letting it consume us. It's a delicate balance, honoring the reality of our suffering while refusing to let it define our identity. This is not an easy process. It requires courage to face what we have been conditioned to hide or deny. When we truly recognize the impact of pain, we begin to see the ways it shapes our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships. We notice how it can foster feelings of isolation, vulnerability, and even resentment if left unexamined. This recognition is not about blaming ourselves for feeling hurt, it's about taking responsibility for how we respond to that hurt. The power to choose our response is always within reach, even when the pain feels unbearable. By acknowledging pain, we open the door to self-awareness, which is the foundation of empowerment. It allows us to step back and observe our experience with compassion rather than judgment, to understand the patterns that keep us trapped, and to imagine new ways of being. Without this recognition, pain can silently erode our sense of self, leading us to believe that our suffering is a sign of failure or inadequacy. But when we face it head-on, we reclaim our voice and our agency. It's essential to understand that pain is not a sign of weakness, even though it often feels that way. Feeling pain means you are human, that you care deeply, and that you have the capacity to connect with yourself and others on a profound level. This connection is the root of resilience, the invisible thread that holds us steady through life's storms. When we acknowledge our pain, we also invite others to witness our truth, creating space for genuine support and healing. It's easy to think that we should handle our pain alone, that asking for help is a sign of defeat. But reaching out is actually a powerful act of courage and self-care. It reminds us that we are not isolated beings but part of a larger human experience, and that connection can be a source of immense strength. Recognizing pain means recognizing its complexity. Pain is rarely just physical or emotional, it is often intertwined with our past experiences, beliefs, and fears. Sometimes, it disguises itself as anger, numbness, or even perfectionism. By becoming curious about the different faces of our pain, we can begin to unravel its hold over us. This curiosity is an act of kindness toward ourselves, a refusal to let pain remain a shadow that controls our life from behind the scenes. When we acknowledge pain fully, we take away some of its power to surprise or overwhelm us. Instead of being blindsided by it, we learn to anticipate its presence and prepare ourselves to meet it with strength. This preparation doesn't mean we become immune to pain, but that we develop a resilience that allows us to navigate difficult moments without losing ourselves. Importantly, acknowledging pain is not about wallowing or getting stuck in suffering. It is about naming what is real so we can move through it with awareness and intention. This process creates the foundation for transformation because it clears the way for healing and growth. Avoidance, on the other hand, keeps us trapped in a cycle of fear and isolation, preventing us from discovering the power that lies beneath the surface of our pain. It's worth reflecting on how you have responded to pain in your own life. Have you noticed times when you tried to ignore or suppress difficult feelings? How did that affect your ability to move forward? Often, the very act of avoidance can intensify pain, making it harder to heal and causing it to resurface in unexpected ways. The courage to face pain, to sit with it without judgment, is the gateway to reclaiming your personal power. This doesn't mean you have to do it alone or without support. Sometimes, the process requires guidance, whether from trusted friends, mentors, or professionals who can help you navigate the complexities of your experience. Remember, acknowledging pain is not a one-time event but an ongoing practice. Pain may ebb and flow, showing up in different forms throughout your life. Each time it appears, you have the opportunity to meet it with greater awareness and compassion, deepening your relationship with yourself and your capacity to heal. When we recognize the impact of pain, we also begin to understand the importance of self-compassion. Pain naturally invites harsh self-judgment, telling ourselves that we should be stronger, that we are failing somehow. But true empowerment grows from kindness, from treating ourselves as we would a dear friend who is hurting. This gentle acceptance softens the edges of pain and creates a safe container for healing to unfold. In this space of compassion, transformation begins to take root. It's here that you can start to envision a future not dictated by pain but informed by the strength and wisdom gained through facing it. The journey is rarely linear or perfect, it's filled with moments of doubt and struggle. Yet, each step you take toward acknowledging your pain is a victory, a testament to your resilience and commitment to growth. You might find that as you embrace this process, your relationship with pain shifts from one of fear and avoidance to one of respect and understanding. You learn that pain, while difficult, is not your enemy but a teacher guiding you toward deeper self-awareness and empowerment. This shift is profound because it changes the way you move through the world. Instead of being controlled by pain, you begin to harness it as a force that refines your character and fuels your journey. So, as you continue to explore this path, hold space for your pain without resistance, knowing that recognizing its impact is a crucial step in your transformation. It is the moment when you reclaim your story from the shadows of suffering and step into the light of awareness and possibility. Embrace your pain with honesty and courage, for in doing so, you plant the seeds from which your true power will grow. Transformation begins here, with the simple yet powerful act of acknowledgement. You hold the key. Now that we've begun to recognize and acknowledge the impact of pain, the natural next step is to explore practical ways to transform that pain into power. This journey doesn't happen by chance, it unfolds through deliberate choices and actions that invite growth, resilience, and healing. One of the most accessible and effective tools you can use is journaling, simply putting your thoughts and emotions onto paper without censorship or judgment. Writing creates a safe space where you can express the complexity of your feelings, untangle the knots of confusion, and gain clarity about what your pain is teaching you. When you journal, you give voice to your inner experience, allowing the unspoken to surface and be seen. This act of expression is not about crafting a perfect story or finding immediate solutions but about honoring your truth and creating a dialogue with yourself. Each word you write is a step toward reclaiming your power, a way to say, I see you, pain, and I am ready to learn from you. Alongside journaling, seeking support from others is a vital part of the transformation process. Pain can isolate us, making us feel as if we're alone in our struggle, but reaching out connects us to the shared human experience. Whether it's a trusted friend, a mentor, or a professional counselor, having someone to listen without judgment can provide comfort and new perspectives. Support doesn't erase pain, but it lightens the load and reminds us that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. It's in these moments of connection that we often find the courage to keep moving forward, fueled by the knowledge that we are not alone. Reframing painful experiences is another powerful way to shift our relationship with suffering. Instead of seeing pain as a dead end or a mark of failure, we begin to view it as an opportunity for learning and resilience. This doesn't mean minimizing or denying the difficulty of what you've been through, but rather choosing to see the growth that can emerge from hardship. Like a seed buried in the dark earth, your pain holds potential for new life and transformation. When you reframe your experience, you start to ask different questions, not, why me, but, what is this teaching me, or, how can I use this to become stronger? This shift in perspective opens the door to empowerment because it invites you to become an active participant in your healing rather than a passive victim of circumstance. To illustrate this process, think of steel being forged in a fire. The intense heat and pressure seem destructive at first, yet they are precisely what makes the steel stronger, more resilient, and more valuable. In the same way, enduring hardship can temper your character and resolve. The flames of pain don't consume you, they refine you, burning away what no longer serves and shaping you into a more resilient and authentic version of yourself. This metaphor reminds us that transformation often requires enduring discomfort and trusting that the fire will not destroy us but make us whole. As you engage in these practical steps, it's important to remember that transformation is a process, not a destination. It unfolds gradually, sometimes in small, almost imperceptible shifts rather than dramatic breakthroughs. Patience with yourself is key. Give yourself permission to take the time you need, to stumble and to rise, to feel deeply and to heal slowly. Each moment of conscious effort, each journal entry, each conversation, each reframed thought, is a brick laid in the foundation of your new self. Alongside these practices, cultivating self-compassion is essential. When pain arises, it's natural to want to push it away or to criticize yourself for feeling weak. But true empowerment grows from kindness, treating yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer a close friend. Self-compassion softens the edges of pain and creates a nurturing environment where transformation can take root. It reminds you that you are worthy of healing and growth, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Another important aspect of turning pain into power is setting intentional goals that align with your values and aspirations. Pain can cloud our vision, making it hard to see beyond the immediate struggle. But by identifying what matters most to you and taking small, achievable steps toward those goals, you reclaim agency over your life. This forward movement, no matter how modest, serves as a tangible reminder that you are not defined by your pain but by your ability to create positive change. In this way, pain becomes a motivator rather than a barrier, fueling your determination to build a life that reflects your true self. It's also helpful to remember that transformation through pain involves integrating the lessons learned into your daily life. This might mean developing new habits, changing old patterns, or cultivating a mindset that embraces growth and resilience. The process of integration is ongoing, requiring mindfulness and self-reflection. But with each conscious choice, you reinforce your inner strength and deepen your connection to your authentic self. This integration is what allows transformation to be lasting and meaningful, beyond temporary relief or avoidance. As you practice these steps, it's natural to encounter setbacks or moments of doubt. Transformation is rarely a straight path, it winds and twists, with times of progress and times of pause. When you face these challenges, remember that they are part of the process, not signs of failure. Each obstacle offers an opportunity to deepen your resilience and reaffirm your commitment to growth. Embracing this reality with openness and grace helps you maintain momentum, even when the road feels difficult. Imagine your pain as a fire that, rather than consuming you, illuminates your path forward. The heat may be intense, but it also melts away what no longer serves and reveals the strength hidden beneath the surface. Through journaling, seeking support, reframing experiences, cultivating self-compassion, setting goals, and integrating lessons, you become not just a survivor of your pain but an alchemist, transforming suffering into power. This process is deeply personal and unique to you. There is no right or wrong way to walk this path, only your way. Trust the process, trust yourself, and know that each step you take is part of a profound journey toward becoming your strongest, most authentic self. Embrace your pain as the fire that forges your resilience. Transformation begins here, and you hold the key. When we reach the point of embracing empowerment through acceptance and action, something remarkable begins to unfold within us. The moment we accept our pain, not as a punishment or a flaw but as a part of our human experience, we stop resisting what is, and instead, we start channeling our energy in ways that nurture growth and change. This acceptance is not about giving up or resigning ourselves to suffering, rather, it is an active, courageous choice to face reality with open eyes and an open heart. Acceptance frees us from the exhausting battle against our pain, allowing us to redirect that energy toward constructive and meaningful change. It is like turning from trying to swim upstream to flowing with the current, using its momentum to carry us forward rather than drain us. When we stop fighting the pain, we create space for healing and transformation. This shift in focus is empowering because it moves us from a place of helplessness to one of agency. We begin to see that although we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This insight is the foundation of personal power, the quiet strength that grows when we choose to act with intention and self-compassion. Cultivating self-compassion is a vital part of this process. When pain is present, our inner critic often becomes loud, telling us that we should be stronger, that we are failing. But self-compassion invites us to treat ourselves with kindness, to recognize that suffering is a universal part of life and that we deserve care just as much as anyone else. This gentle acceptance softens the harshness of pain and creates a nurturing environment in which transformation can take root. It reminds us that we are worthy of healing and that our struggles do not diminish our value. Alongside acceptance and compassion comes the power of setting clear, intentional goals. Pain can cloud our vision, making it difficult to see beyond the immediate discomfort. But when we focus on what we want to create in our lives, whether it's healing, growth, or new opportunities, we begin to channel our pain into purposeful action. These goals don't have to be monumental, even small steps taken consistently can build momentum and reinforce our sense of agency. When we move towards something meaningful, pain becomes a motivator rather than a barrier. It propels us forward, urging us to create positive shifts that align with our deepest values and aspirations. Imagine your journey like tending a garden. Acceptance is the fertile soil, self-compassion the gentle rain, and intentional action the sunlight that nourishes your growth. Without any one of these elements, the garden cannot flourish. But when they come together, transformation blooms naturally and beautifully. This metaphor reminds us that healing and empowerment are not about forcing change but about creating the conditions in which growth can thrive. In this space of acceptance and action, we also learn to harness the energy of our pain as a source of motivation. Rather than letting it drain us, we use it as fuel to propel us forward. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing difficult emotions, it means acknowledging them fully and choosing to move through them with purpose. Pain becomes a teacher, guiding us toward greater resilience and wisdom. When we channel pain into constructive change, we reclaim control over our narrative. We shift from being victims of circumstance to active creators of our lives. This transformation is deeply empowering because it is rooted in choice and intention. It reminds us that while we cannot always change what happens to us, we hold the key to how we respond and what we build from our experiences. The journey of embracing empowerment through acceptance and action is not always smooth. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and even fear. But each time you choose to accept your reality and take a step forward, you strengthen the muscles of resilience and self-trust. These moments of courage, no matter how small, accumulate over time, creating a foundation of inner strength that supports you through future challenges. It's important to remember that this process is deeply personal and unique to you. There is no timeline or formula to follow, only your own rhythm and pace. Embrace your pain with honesty, meet it with compassion, and then let your actions be guided by your values and dreams. This is where true power grows, in the sacred space between acceptance and purposeful movement. When we cultivate this balance, transformation becomes not just possible but inevitable. You begin to live from a place of authenticity, strength, and hope. You become a living example of the truth that pain, while difficult, can be a catalyst for profound change. So, as you continue on this path, remember that embracing your pain is not passive. It is an active, brave choice to stop resisting and start creating. It is the moment when you step into your power and commit to forging a life that reflects your deepest self. This is where transformation begins anew each day, fueled by acceptance, compassion, and intentional action. You hold the key. Now, as we stand together at this threshold, I invite you to take a moment and gently bring to mind a pain you carry, whether it is a current wound or one from your past that still lingers quietly beneath the surface. This pain, in all its complexity, has been a part of your story, shaping you in ways both visible and unseen. It might have left marks of sorrow, anger, or confusion, but beneath those marks lies a deeper truth: this pain has been a crucible for your strength. Reflection is our first step here, not to dwell in suffering but to recognize how that suffering has contributed to the resilience and wisdom you now possess. What have you learned about yourself through this pain? How has it shaped your understanding of who you are and what you are capable of? This act of conscious reflection is powerful because it transforms pain from a silent force working against you into a conscious resource you can engage with intentionally. Transformation begins when we allow ourselves to see pain not as a random misfortune but as a teacher and a catalyst for growth. This isn't about romanticizing suffering or dismissing its real difficulty. It's about embracing the full spectrum of your experience with honesty and courage. Each challenge you have faced, each moment of vulnerability, has added a layer to your strength, a strength that you carry forward into every new day. The journey of turning pain into power is ongoing. It is not a destination to reach and then forget, but a continual process of facing challenges with courage and purpose. This commitment to transformation is itself a form of empowerment. It asks us to show up for ourselves repeatedly, to choose growth over retreat, and to trust that the inner resources we need are always within reach. In this process, you hold the key to unlocking your own potential and rewriting your narrative. You have the capacity to transform pain into a source of strength, to let it fuel your journey rather than derail it. This is a profound invitation to step into your power fully, to take ownership of your story, and to move forward with hope and determination. As you embrace this challenge, remember that you are not alone. Many have walked this path before you, and many will walk it after. Your courage to face your pain and transform it into power becomes a beacon to others, lighting the way for those who may still be searching for their own strength. So, as you reflect on your pain, consider how you might redirect its energy toward building the life you desire, a life rich with meaning, resilience, and joy. Transformation is possible, and it begins here, with the simple yet profound choice to face your pain with openness and courage. You hold the key.